What's good, y'all? I'm finna talk a little D&D Dark Alliance, of course. Got a few things to talk about today, maybe a lot to talk about today. If you're new to the channel and you like what you hear, hit the like button. If you want to hear more of what you hear, hit the subscribe button. You feel me? Now, we're gonna talk about the good, the bad, the in-between, some possible nice to haves, and then I give you my little summarized review of what I thought after playing a fair amount of this game over the last week or so here. So, of course, we finna start with the bad. We gotta get into the bad stuff first so we end on a possible good note. You feel me? So, cross-play issues. I can't speak for the Xbox PC side of it because I didn't play on that side. I did not scoop this game on PC. I just scooped it on PlayStation. But from that realm, it was annoying. So if you had friends who was on PS5 and who was on PS4, there were some issues with the crossplay. My PS5, I got a couple friends on PS5. They had to download the PS4 version, and that's because if they had downloaded the PS5 version and they tried to send you an invite, it didn't work. And then if you sent them an invite to come join your session, that didn't work either. They actually got a message telling them they had the wrong version of the game. So they would have to go back in and download the PS4 version of the game in order to play with you. Well, people got a PS5, they kind of want to play PS5 versions of the games that they buy. That's why they got a PS5. But so that was an issue there. I ended up not even kicking off the way that I wanted to kick off with this game because I had to wait for one of the homies to go back and download the next version. And y'all know he got that sloth net, boy, that sloth net. So yeah, that put me back a whole day. But even if we get off of the crossplay issue, you still had the disconnect issues. Now, I'm a little passionate about this disconnect issue because it's going to lead me to one of the nice to haves that we got later in the video. But we had somebody join a group who had not started at the same time that we started, and so he was actually playing the character that I was playing, Bruenor. You feel me? I was playing Bruenor. I was loving it, having a good time, rolling around, clapping people upside the head with that axe. And then he joined talking about, nah, I'm Bruenor. So luckily somebody else switched and they was like, all right, well, you get Drist. Well, no complaints there, no complaints there. I roll with Drist. You feel me? I rock with Drist. But the issue ended up being that when I switched to Drist, they all still want to play on slightly higher difficulties so they can get better loot. So they want to drag my no skill, no gear having behind through the levels with them at the higher difficulty. But I said, okay, fine, I'll suck it up and deal with it, right? I'll be the bigger person. So I did that. We running through. We get towards the end, and I'm putting in a lot of work, mind you, with this no gear, no skill character. And I'm saying that based off my skill set and the fact that I have no gear. But we get there, and then this was a type of disconnect that I had not experienced before, and I only experienced it this once, but it was enough to make me mad. We'll just say that. And what happened was I ended up getting a pure blank black screen right near the end of the match, and that was before the results screen. So I got kicked right after we knocked out the final boss. Just got a black screen, booted me out, and I loaded back into an empty chest. Nothing in my chest because I didn't make it to the results screen. So yeah, I was pretty salty, very, very saltburger. But the other kind of disconnect, I want to say everybody probably experienced at least once over the last week or so here, and that was just the standard disconnect after you reach the results screen trying to load back into home base. Oh man, this game garbage. And that happened countless times. Though I will say they sent out a tweet on the 23rd. And I will say that shortly after they sent out that tweet, I did notice improvements, at least for me. I started having less disconnects. I was able to hold on, even without being a host. I was able to hold on a little bit better. So I felt those improvements. I can't say the same for everybody else in my party. We had somebody who was just constantly getting, I mean, it was a ritual. At the end of every match, he got disconnected. And then the last thing for the bads, so we can get through this, the hitboxes and online lag. Now, and I say that because I don't know, it was hard to tell which it was more of a problem with. Was it the hitboxes or was it the online lag? Now, I do believe the game has dedicated servers. I think most developers have learned their lesson, or most companies have learned their lessons on trying to pick a player host. So I don't know which one it was, but when you be fighting one of the monsters, and it always happens to be one of the monsters that hits like a truck. But for the most part, you got to get in and out, in and out, in and out, and that's how you can, that's how you deal with most of the monsters. But you run in to attack, and then you roll away, and then after you dodge, you get away, and you stand back up, and then all of a sudden you lose health, and you're like, what? So did the monsters attack? Like, did his hitbox like hit you way back there, right? Or was it due to lag because he had already swung and you just think you got away, right? So that was hard to tell. So that needs a little bit of a cleanup. But again, that's it really for the bad parts. So I'm gonna try not to give out too many more bad points. I don't think there's even really that many more for me to go over.
2 hours later.
Those are the main notables for me. Now we can get into the good. So starting with the good, public-private parties, it was good, but it was a so-so, right? You got the ability to lock out public joinees. You can play privately by yourself or do just friends only. That's just how everything should be, right? Nobody should have to deal with randos joining the party and then going AFK or whatever they feel like doing. So that was good. The difficulty ratings I thought was also decent, at least for starters. I was able to get at least enough of a challenge, or felt like I was able to get at least enough of a challenge, because the monsters start hitting like trucks once you start upping it. So that was dope. Then of course the combat style. If you played this game, if you didn't like nothing else about it, you probably like the combat style. Bringing in those parries, you got team attacks, you can dodge out, the ultimates. The combat is nice when it's working, right? When you're not suffering from the lag and hitboxes. The combat is fantastic. It's the most captivating thing about the game. So lovely there. They spoke about that before the game came out. They spoke about it in their dev reviews. They spoke about it in multiple articles. So they didn't cheat us on the combat. That was dope. The next thing I was loving was the after mission results. I don't know why more games don't do this more often. Just because it's PvE don't mean I don't want the opportunity to call my homies garbage, right? Give me something to look at after the match so we can see who went hard. And that was probably the most fun for us out the game, was seeing who got the most stuff. Matter of fact, I had homies who was leaving me when I was surrounded by 6 giant monsters so they can go find loot to try to be the loot king after the match. So that was dope. I thought that was lovely. So it was a nice addition to the game that I don't know that I was expecting. And then the sort of little half bit of transmog that you get, you're able to go in and modify the color and stuff like that of your gear. I was loving that too. So it definitely has some good stuff. And then now, in order to not drag the video on forever, we're gonna get into some of the nice to haves, and then I give you my little summary. And with the nice to haves, we need a chest, right? Like the chest being there after the match and gives you all your stuff that you earn. That's kind of dope. But I want a chest that's mine too. I want a chest that when I log in, it'd be like, this is my online names chest, or or it could just say chest. It don't even have to say my name on it, but to throw my gear into, because right now it's kind of like, and this drives into like the whole gear system, it's it's nice because there is a gear system, but you kind of just end up wanting a little bit more from it. Like, you get the loot, and then loot you don't want, you just go sell it. I do like that because it's ease, right? You don't want to dive, maybe not too deep. What's the word I'm looking for? It's just enough, right? But kind of want a little bit more. So, because with my gear, how about being able to break that gear down, suck out the materials from it, maybe go craft my own gear, right? Can I craft? That would be a nice addition. And same character. The one character per deal is just kind of like, I'm not really loving it. Do they think people ain't got friends no more? Bruh. But I say that because, so we had, like the story I gave y'all earlier, right? Somebody else joined, they want to play Bruenor, right? I should have still been able to play Bruenor. But leading into sort of what else are we going to be getting with this game? Is it going to be raids at some point? Because if so, can we do like a 6 to 8 player raid? Maybe something like that would be a nice to have. Now again, I know this game is lower on the budget side of things, but sort of open yourself up to it when you present a game like this, that it gets into the player's hands, and then the player is just like, man, this game got so much potential, but you know, it's like saying, hey, yeah, this game's got potential, but it's never gonna get there because it's only $40. Deal with it. But and I don't think that should be the case. Now I know they got this expansion coming up. Can we talk about that? What would y'all like to see added to the game? Is there anything when you played through this game that you thought it should have added as well? If so, leave it down in the comments. Let's chat about it. Let's argue about it. Or if you think the game is just perfect completely the way that it released, let's talk about that too, right? Because we're doing a whole lot of ranking going on in this game on Twitter and stuff like that. But let's talk a little bit of positivity too. And then to sort of summarize just my feelings on it thus far, I have liked playing this game. I'm probably going to continue to like playing this game, and play it for a while as long as they keep adding to it as promised. Like I said, we already got the 3 upcoming supposed to be drops. We got the difficulty ranking increase that's coming later. I believe that's expected end of July, so later this month. And then in the fall, there's more increases, a new level being added, right? And then there's also an expansion in the fall. So let's aim towards that expansion. What's some things that you would like to see added to the expansion? I know we get another character, more levels, and then probably even more difficulty in the expansion. But outside of these bugs and things like that that everybody knows needs to be addressed, is what else is coming? But like I said, overall, I have to say right now, maybe 6.5 out of 10, 6.5 to 7 out of 10 is where I would be at. That's a little on the high side, but that's just because for me it just left so many more things that I want, right? It's not like I just absolutely hated this game. I just want more from it because it's a great game. So that's where I'm at with it. So I'm not giving up on it yet. I'm gonna keep playing it, and hopefully those who enjoyed it have been enjoying it will keep playing it as well, so we can keep this bad boy alive. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you all in the next video. I'm out.
My years training at the Melee Magazine continue to pay dividends.